If y'all were here yesterday, we started making a wig. Okay, I know it don't look like nothing. I know it don't look like nothing, but we're gonna finish it off. I am going for a Kelly Rowland-esque bob. Okay, I want it to sit like right here. Okay, so this hair, we have worked with this hair before. Y'all remember the U-part wig that we made? This is that same hair. Okay, however, this time we went with a closure. Why did we go with a closure? Because my hair is now longer. Okay, so my hair, the bob that I'm going to create, my hair lives past that. So either I would have to cut my hair or use a closure. I started this the other day. I pretty much did all of the tracks except for these last two. Because what happened was, child, I came to the salon, I grabbed a few things. One moment, y'all. I had to make sure y'all was on off of the Bluetooth. I grabbed a few things and I didn't get no thread and no needles to sew on the dang on closure. So I did what I could at home while I was in the spirit, while I still had the energy and the zest to start it, and now we are finishing it. Okay, this is not a tutorial, okay, not at all. I just came on here to share with you all how I get to it. So I like to use a mesh dome cap. Okay, so it's a regular dome cap, it just so happens to be with that mesh material. These tracks are bonded on. I used to sew my wigs together. This is inexpensive hair, ain't no point in sewing it on. And also, child please. So what we're gonna do now is take said closure, okay, and sew her in up front, so all the way around her, and then take her, ball her up, bundle her up, and then glue my last few tracks around here. I am not going to cut this wig until I get my hair washed and braided down. Hey, wash and braid it down so that I can actually really make sure that it sits where I need it to sit and it looks how I want it to look. Okay, hold on, y'all. So, how was y'all's day? I know I come on here and we talk about hair products and all those other things, but I am literally here today just to spend some time with you all. See who comes into the room, block a few trolls, the usual. The usual. Let's see here. I'm just gonna pin the closure into place and then be able to work thereafter with it because I have it where I need it. I'm not a wig maker, okay? I used to sell extensions. At one point in time, I was going to get into all of that. However, the way that these natural hair girlies have a chokehold on me, your day was busy. Sometimes busy days are necessary. Sometimes, they go by fast. But then you be dog tired at the end of the day, honey. Be ready to lay down. Lay it down. Okay. Ms. Parker, what do you need help with? That question is a very loaded question, honey. Sometimes y'all get on here and y'all get to asking weird things. I don't know if I can. Okay, so we have it pinned in the front. Okay, so Miss Parker says my hair is broke off so bad after having my daughter. Well, do you want to hear the real deal Holyfield, or do you want to try to transition that damage off? There's two different things. So I experienced postpartum after having the twins. My postpartum can range, by the way. My postpartum was heavily most people get it around their hairline. Some people get it all the way throughout, and then some people's hairlines goes back an inch or more. Okay, mine's was kind of in what I call the cat ears. So right here in my areas here where men bald, and those what I call cat ears is where I lost a lot of hair, and I have a lot of hair as well. So losing that hair, I was able to camouflage my hair loss. Now, if your hair was unhealthy prior to having the baby, we could be dealing with something very, very drastic. My recommendation, if you are open to it, depending on how intense it is to consider chopping your hair into some type of, depending on how long it is, bob, or if you're wearing it straight, or TWA, you know. Now, the thing with that is, depending on how much hair you have lost, do you need the hair that's left on your head to camouflage the hair loss, right? For me, I wore a middle part because the middle part will take and lay over those cat ear areas, you know? So ultimately, it sounds like you need a trim, chop, a shape, something that's going to allow you to grow your hair out, you know, and camouflage those areas, but also put your hair on the right track. The next thing after that is you need to assess your hair care routine. If your hair was not, again, not healthy before the postpartum started, then we need to reassess that. And then lastly, it is very, very recommended to continue to take your prenatal pills for, you know, as your hormones drop and things of that nature, just to make sure that you aren't deficient in things. Sometimes people stop their prenatals afterwards. So when we talk about postpartum can start about 3 months after we've had the child. Okay, so around the 2-3 month mark, you might start seeing hair fall out. Thereafter, the hair can fall out for upwards of, you know, 3 more months. I always tell people to, you know, understand that it's going to fall out for a period of time. Once it starts to slow down and stop falling out, that is when you can start to expect the hair to grow back. Until it stops shedding out, it's not probably going to be growing back that much. Once all the shedding is done, give yourself another 3 to 6 months before you see any growth coming back in. And that's going to be a slow process because say your hair is down here, you've lost all that hair all the way up to here. This can take 2 years for the hair to grow back down here, okay? But most people, as long as they have like some coverage, 3 to 6 months of hair growth for coverage, they are just happy that it's not bald anymore, you know? Oh no, Miss Parker, girl. If it was healthy, then we just gonna have to, you know, trust in the process. It's unfortunate when how old is your baby? When you are going through postpartum, the last thing you want to deal with is hair loss. We be going through. We really be going through, and no one talks about that. 5 years old or 5 months? Yeah, if it's fresh, Miss Parker, I'm sorry, it's gonna be some time. Okay, I like to 5 years. My hair broke off after having my daughter. Your hair hasn't grown back in? Yeah? No. One moment, y'all. Okay, the people downstairs came in. I like to do 2 needles and sew the closure from side to side as I go along. Y'all probably ain't gonna be able to see much because I need to see what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah, my ultimate recommendation based off of what you just said, mind you, these were guidelines, general guidelines, what I was just talking about, is for you to seek professional care. You know, you need to find someone who really can see your hair, assess your hair, and start to put you on a regimen. You need to see a professional at least at least once a month. And then thereafter, you know, once you get a little flow going, then you can maybe go and see one once every 2 months or once a quarter. That's if they're giving you the tools to care for it at home, you know? I hope that was helpful, by the way. Did I ever tell y'all I used to work at the $50 weave shop in Charlotte? I surely did. I surely did. At the weave shop, the home and the $50 sew-in. That was I. I gotta get this shower cap underneath here. I'm gonna keep on sewing into it. So the shower cap, what's the shower cap for? Remember y'all, I bonded these back tracks onto the cap. So to prevent me from dirtying up my mannequin head, I had to use a shower cap. See how they bonded on? I had to use a shower cap to make sure that the glue didn't go through. My mom's putting up her Christmas tree. Sidebar. My mom's putting up her Christmas tree, and I'm about to go pick up the boys after I leave here and go over there so that they can help her. It's at this point, it's a little tradition. Y'all done did too much. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, hold on, hold on. All right. I really done made a mess, y'all. Hold on. Hold on, hold on. How Jesse would say, hold on, hold on, hold on. One moment, un momento. I don't remember doing that. I do not remember doing that. Well, apparently, y'all, it is winter. The house been mighty, mighty cold at night. I slept in a robe last night. It wasn't my intention. I got in the bed with the robe on, honey. Baby woke up with the robe on. I said, okay. But I slept good, I must admit. I must admit. So, shout out to my robe for holding me down. Okay, y'all. I done got myself untangled now. Finally. I am going to, once I get this sewed on, what's going to happen is I'm going to cut the net from underneath it. I am probably going to see what it looks like without bleaching the knots, because I ain't got time. I be done pluck the part before I bleach the knots and use some makeup, because it's not that serious to me. This is a little project wig. It ain't no official. I ain't trying to go around here and be like, this is my hair, da 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 da. It's just a little breaky situation, a little break. Give the hair a little break. Absolutely. Inga asked a very great question. She says, Jameelah, do you provide virtual services for those in other states? Absolutely. I have done a consultation even with she's in the crew here. She's in Atlanta. She is a subscriber who found us in the past few years here on YouTube. I have even done a curly cut coaching with a lady in Abu Dhabi. So, yes, the answer is yes. Anything that you can learn about your hair, I would love to teach you virtually, you know. Now, only thing that I mean, I can teach you a curly cut, but if you are someone who is the lady who I taught how to cut her hair virtually, she was already cutting her own hair. And so if you are nervous about that, or you're like, girl, I wouldn't even pick up any shears, that would be the only thing that you would want to find, even either someone where you're at to provide, or to come and see me about. But everything else, you could absolutely do at home. Natural hair care is the goal for this channel, is to make natural hair care simple. I want you all to be able to do everything at home, you know? I went to the doctor today for my annual. I have not gone in some time. I know now that they're saying that we can go up to 3 years without a pap smear, but that don't, I was telling someone on Instagram, baby, that don't sit well with my spirit. Y'all, maybe I'm conditioned, but I used to go every year. So every 3 to 5 years is crazy. It's crazy. I was reading that paperwork when I was in there. I was like, I'll be back next year. I might do every other year, but I'll be back. I don't need nothing laying dormant or, festering while I'm gone, thinking that everything is cool and copacetic, and it's not, you know? $50. You're so welcome, Inga. Thank you for asking. Okay, so now that I got the front anchored, I'm just going to go through and pin the back corners so that I can sew it down safely and securely. Yeah, I'm going every year. The military tries that every 5 years. I'm like, no, thank you. I'll go, yeah, to my civilian doctor. My thing is, it's like, I mean, so you just want me to ignore? Something can happen. Something can happen. I'm just saying. I mean, I've never had an abnormal pap smear, so, and for the gentlemen who are watching, it's a woman's channel, okay? But things change. They got all kind of stuff going on in the atmosphere and in the foods and stuff. I try not to be a conspiracy theorist. However, it's a lot going on, okay? Y'all know I got a new braid down, not braid down, way of putting my wigs on. So I really, really, really hate blow drying my hair. The only time I really am okay with blow drying my hair is when I know I'm gonna press it out. Other than that, I really do not blow dry my hair. So when it used to come to my old wigs that I would adhere, I would, you know, blow dry my hair and I would braid it up. Well, I'm not doing that no more, right? So what I'll do now is onto damp hair, I will flat twist my hair. It's so much quicker, it's so much easier, and it's still as flat as I need it to be. I'm not trying to like, again, I'm not trying to be like, yeah, this is the best wig, this is that. I just want something different. The hairstyles and the other silhouettes of hair that I want to try, I want to be able to like switch it up. And also for it to resemble my own hair, because y'all know I'm gray. So that is why I make my own wigs. I bought this hair now that I'm gray, but I have so much hair from the past. I remember when I was saying that I used to want to sell hair. I still have so much of that hair from back then. So every now and again I pop out and make another one too. Like a one for someone else, or a black one, if you will. How y'all feel about group messages? As a person who really ignores their phones at times, as far as messages and, you know, contacting, group messages sometimes give me anxiety. Especially, don't let me be working and then people was in the group chat going crazy and there's 50 messages to catch up on. Child, please. I'm gonna read like the last 3 messages and I'm gonna respond. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds good. That's it, that's all. All right, I have sewn, I know the chat's probably here. I've sewn here. I don't know if y'all can see the little stitches right there. And I have sewn here as well. I have pretty much done the whole front and both sides. So now I need to go through on the back side and tack it down. Glue these last few tracks. As I'm sewing down this back part though, I'm actually gonna go ahead and measure these tracks and put the glue on them because the glue does take a little bit of time to set. Okay. Okay. It's a little ponytail for me. I wasn't looking, I've been looking at it in the camera, but now I'm over here looking at it from the mirror, honey. She got a little ponytail up here in the wall. Period. She's low-key cute already. So let's measure out these tracks. I already pre-measured them, kind of, sort of. But I always gotta double check. So, little tip. I only bought 1 pack of hair because usually the shorter the hair, the more length, more weft you get. If I ever want to make sure that I do not run out of hair by the time I get to the top, what I do is that last track, I will go ahead and cut that out. I will literally say, hey, I need this much hair for the very end, and then sit this hair off to the side. So at least I know I got, like, if I'm starting to get not enough hair, I'm like, okay, let's space this out right up and through here, and then I'll have my very top tracks already. You know what I mean? And then if you need to add more hair later, you can. But if you just like, child, it is what it is, I'm gonna let it ride, then you got that too. So okay, this was actually the one that I pre-did that to. It's just a little bit longer than this, just a little bit. What y'all doing for Christmas this year? I know we are not supposed to be really spending and things. I know that we are making some powerful statements with our doulas. And so, you know, and also prior to that, even though I had a pretty extravagant, gift-filled childhood, I really think that it's at this point looking back, it's a bit excessive. And what it leads to is children who, granted, I was down to earth, okay? I'm not the children I'm about to talk about, but it leads to entitled children who don't fare well when they don't get what they want, okay? We are giving our children everything underneath the moon and the sun in their childhood, and it's amazing to make sure that your children have good childhoods. However, they will one day grow up to be an adult, and the reality of that sometimes will hit them across their face when they're not making enough money to live the life that they grew up living. Okay? And that's enough to make somebody jump off of a building. Okay, so, you know, just be mindful. Be mindful. And tell these kids no. The children nowadays ain't used to having nobody tell them no. They don't do well with adversity. They do not do well with it. So there's a huge debacle debate about, you know, letting children, all children get every child gets a trophy. There's even an episode of Bluey. I was watching Bluey the other day, and thank you. Someone said those curls are perfect. Thank you. I'm watching an episode of Bluey, right? And they're playing some game. I forgot what the name of the game was called. But essentially, the Bluey's dad comes in, and he's just like, "What? Why y'all playing it this way? This ain't the old school way. How in the world is everybody supposed to win? That's not right. There's a first, and then there's losers. Okay, there's a winner, and then there are losers." And so he realized, like, because the kids were so used to always getting a prize, they cried when they didn't win. So eventually, in the show, the kids start to learn and appreciate the old way of, you know, first, second, third, you know, winners and losers. And they only want to play it that way. When did we start doing that? Why did we start doing that? Not everybody is going to be a winner. Mind you, these people are going to be adults one day. When will they learn how to deal with it? If they can't learn to deal with it as kids, by the time they come adults, baby, they're going to be ready to pum up large events in places where people gather. Okay? Everything, what would they say? Everything in moderation? My God. That's just my little mini rant. But what y'all think? I am down, though, for experiences. I am down for spending money on experiences. Because that enriches you, in my opinion. They're not, oh, it's Thursday. I was say they're not playing no game next door. Tomorrow night it's gonna be jumping over there. Every now and again your thread will get wonky. And it just happened. There it go. Ta-da! Bum, 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 bum. Hey, so watch Rugrats. Y'all, when I used to do sew-ins, I had gotten so like fast at it, especially because it would be like a little mini competition in the salon when I worked in Charlotte. Everybody is doing, you know, these clients. The more clients you do in a day, the more money you make. And so, I mean, it was an express service. We were trying to get people in and out in like an hour, hour and a half. Braid down for 30 minutes, sew down for 30 minutes, and baby, have a great day. Have a great day. So those girls really did push me back then. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of my experiences in this industry. All right, y'all. I'm sure that these tracks are on their way to being ready to be put onto the wig. I have just a few more stitches here. I am going to do a rough cut. I'm not going to like cut it all the way up, but I will clean it up because I can't stand to see this just sitting here looking undone like that. Well, y'all on the live earlier when we was in Cosmoprof, and I was trying to explain hair color before my good sis came in. All right. I'm gonna lie to you, I can't remember which one to do what. I can't remember which one to lay down first. Let's see. I think this is the one to do on the very, very top. I almost laid it how I measured it, almost. Bye, Inga. Have a great night. I'll see you later. I know you'll be back. probably going to be wearing my Kelly Rowland-esque bob in a middle part because that is infamously how she wears hers. This hair, if you all are curious, again, it's the same hair that I used to make my U-part wig, my longer U-part wig that's about here, where I've taken my natural hair and put it over it. This is why it's gray. Y'all see the gray, you see the gray, okay. And so this is that same company, but I got a closure this time because I am going for a shorter look. My hair is longer now than the hair. And so this is a 10-inch closure from Foxy Silver collection, and a 8-inch in the back throughout. And ooh, get my stand, got a little fight back. And what else? That's about it, honey. Amazon, if you want the link, let me know. Let me know. It is Jackie straight hair, so it is giving off like a relaxed, you know, natural situation. This is just a rough cut, y'all. This is just, I don't have to sit here and look at it, stare at it, just looking crazy. Something in my spirit won't let me just see it undone like this. I got to at least get excited about how it looks. Remember, y'all, I got one pack, number one, because the hair itself usually has a bit more weft in it when it's shorter. So I knew it would be more hair than like a 12-inch. And then also, I don't know if y'all ever seen anybody who puts too much hair in a bob. It be giving Zora the Explorer, honey. It be giving Zora, Zora. And I don't like that. So I wanted to make sure, excuse me, y'all. I want to make sure that it was giving movement. It was going to be giving body. It wasn't going to be too thick. And I do think, y'all can't really tell, but I do think that this is a good thickness with that closure on top. If push come to shove, I want more hair in it. What I will do is probably just take a tracker or two out of my other wig because I don't foresee me buying any more of this hair in my own hair. Remember, I made that the U-part wig to mimic my hair longer because I was missing my length. Well, baby, your girl got some long hair now, so I don't really need the wig like that. If I'm going to wear my hair like that, I'm gonna press my own hair. But all right, y'all, this is the final, not the final, but the final rough draft of the wig, the completed construction. I look forward to, again, washing my hair and perfecting and, you know, customizing this area. There is a lot of shorter pieces in the closure that I'm not caring for. So I will probably go through and try to lessen that And whether it be with a wax stick or really going in and finding, I don't know, I might even pick them out. I know it's gonna make my closure thinner, but I can't just have these little flyaways. That's the unfortunate thing about a cheaper, I don't know if y'all can see all of this here. All of them hairs right there. A cheaper closure. It just is what it is. I would never expect for some raw hair to, I can visibly see it, like, look like somebody went in with thinning shears. But yes, girl, this is going to be okay on me. And I love that it looks like my hair. Yeah, that's just me. I'm so simple. Y'all won't never see me with no crazy colors. Y'all probably will always see me as the gray and black lady. I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna go grab those kids, head to my mama's house, and put the tree up. I hope that she got some eggnog or something. I know it's November, but 'tis the season. I see y'all soon. If you're new here, as we leaving out, I'm Jameelah Evans. Sometimes on this channel we do hair, sometimes we do life together. Today we was doing hair, but it's for my real life, okay? Until next time, y'all. Bye.